Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, Barakatam. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to Yaakim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the Brother Raya with another video. And as we'll see from the article I'll be reading from on activistpost.com, we're getting closer and closer to that mandatory implementation of the mark of the beast, which is that microchip implant. Apostle Tahar deemed the year 2019 to be the year Esau really pushes for this chip, and you can see he's pushing that vibration out there just by keeping your eyes in the news. More information is coming out about this microchip implant to coax people into being comfortable with the chip when it gets rolled out on an even more massive scale. And Esau's just waiting for the right crisis point, such as a economic collapse, a biological terrorist attack, a state of martial law, or what have you, to get people so desperate to return to some semblance of society because they miss their creature comforts that they're going to line up in masses to get that microchip implant. And brothers are constantly doing topics on this video, and it's a beautiful thing to see, because the mark of the beast is the linchpin of prophecy, because we know that once that microchip is made mandatorily implemented, that shortly thereafter Yahushua is going to return with the angels to save his elect. But let's get into it. The title of this article reads, China tracks workers' brains, now tracking children with smart tech uniforms. If there is any country on earth that is most emblematic of the rising governance model that is technocracy, it is China. The many pieces to this structure have included much of what we see emerging in the US, with pervasive surveillance, biometrics, and a notion of protecting the public by instituting pre-crime algorithms in police departments and travel. So in many ways, China is the very large canary in the coal mine, which means a warning of things to come for anyone who wishes to attempt to slow the rapidity of our slide down the slippery slope towards scientific totalitarianism. And at the very top, the rulers of China rub shoulders with the Edomite elites, such as the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, or the Gettys, because Esau's blessing was that he would have control of the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. So these other nations realize that Esau's in that power seat, so they're dancing to the tune of his song, and they're testing out all these things in China and Sweden, for instance, getting all the kinks out of the system and seeing how people react to these microchips before they really roll it out in the U.S., which is clearly coming. You've got people like Kid Boo getting that microchip implant to gain the youth's mind into getting that chip or what have you. And as things stand, it seems that the elites want to, after they collapse the U.S., they want to move things toward the east and make China to be the new superpower. But the only people that have next are the children of Israel, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. As I covered previously, China put the world on notice back in April that it is declaring full ownership over the brains of its workers and military with the imposition of brain-reading sensors in their respective hats, caps, and helmets in order to determine efficiency and safety patterns, as well as a general mental state. And I did a video on this topic probably around that time in April, but I've been seeing more articles come out on it, so it must be making big waves in China right now. Concealed in regular safety helmets or uniform hats, these lightweight wireless sensors constantly monitor the wearer's brain waves and stream the data to computers that use artificial intelligence, algorithms, and detect emotional spikes such as depression, anxiety, or rage. The technology is in widespread use around the world, but China has applied it on the unprecedented scale in factories, public transport, state-owned companies, and the military to increase the competitiveness of its manufacturing industry and to maintain social stability. The research team confirmed the device and technology have been used in China's military operations, but declined to provide more information. And all these technological applications have a start in the military. before they moved to the public sector. The Chinese government acknowledges that workers expressed initial concern over the perception that they were having their minds read, but after some acclimation, after being used to it and being constantly bombarded with how safe and beneficial it is, the people were open to it. The same with you Americans. We're in that stage where they're trying to acclimate you people to it by showing celebrities get the chip or how convenient it'll be to your life. You won't need to carry credit cards or what have you. It'll be the key for your car, the key for your house, and the key to your bank accounts. They got used to the device. It looked and felt just like a safety helmet. They wore it all day at work. Future plans include use for flight operators and airline cockpits, but it means the pilots may need to sacrifice some of their privacy for the sake of public safety. And this is just one of the stepping stones towards a brain chip implant, which they already have brain chip implants. I've done videos on the topic as well as other brothers. And with this starting off as a helmet before moving to a brain chip implant, this reminds me of an article I profiled a couple of weeks ago on the CIA creating remote-controlled dogs which had electrodes embedded in their brains. I'm going to read this paragraph right here. After the surgery to control the mind of a dog, the CIA states that the gruesome side effects could be infection at an electrode site due to a failure of the surgical wound to heal. Newsweek reported that after trying out a plastic helmet, government scientists instead settled on the new surgical technique that involved embedding the electrode entirely within a mound of dental cement on the skull and running the leads subcutaneously to a point between the shoulder blades where the leads are brought to the surface and affixed to a standard dog harness. So just like with them starting off with plastic helmets for dogs before embedding these electrodes, they're starting off with these helmets for these Chinese workers before they move it to a brain chip implant. And that other article was also on activistpost.com. In the meantime, a new initiative is paving the way for training the next generation that this type of surveillance is completely normal. School uniforms equipped with tracking chips to supposedly fight truancy. Here we can see an integration of the range of surveillance tech that is at the disposal of technocrats everywhere, including the United States. My emphasis added. The uniform use chips to monitor the location of students and can record their exit and entry into school, according to the tech firm behind the tracking devices. When students enter the school, the smart uniforms help take a photo or video of them, explained Principal Ran Ruzhang, whose elementary school in Guizhou province started rolling out smart uniforms last November. And think about how much easier this would be if these children were chipped and their biometric data was automatically read once they pass the scanner. If students walk out of the school without permission, an automatic voice alarm will activate, the report said. Paired with facial recognition devices installed on school doors, the smart uniforms can also sense if students swap uniforms, but expect there to be some glitches in the system to where kids find a way around it, which will necessitate the need for a microchip implant. We choose not to check the accurate location of students after school, but when the student is missing and skipping classes, the uniform helps locate them, Guizhou Province School Principal Ling Zhangwu told the Global Times. And they're using this to help with truancy or delinquency or students trying to skip class. And the same type of principle is gonna be used to push this chip on American children, just like how they have dogs chipped if they run away. It's gonna be, look, your children, you don't want your children to get kidnapped, so why don't you get them chipped? We'll know their location wherever they go, and the chip won't be like a bracelet that can easily slip off. It'll be in their body. Facial recognition on doors in schools already has been implemented in the US, like this one in Seattle, getting people acclimated to the technology, and people are beginning, there it goes, to embrace this technology on their own homes with Amazon's facial recognition doorbell and a host of similar gadgets. the most insidious part of what is taking shape in China and across the world with the rise of smart tech surveillance and tracking is that children, having grown up without a reference point for any semblance of self-ownership, will now form a much easier population to oppress in the future, because kids nowadays are just completely dumbed down zombies. The GMO foods and the chemtrails have completely just ruined their minds. They'll be open to anything. I mean, they already grow up addicted to what is it, iPads and smartphones and being on the internet almost 24/7. So this next step in technology is just going to be a no-brainer to them. But now I'm going to get into some precepts. One we always go to, Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, that he being the elites of the Edomites, those elite bankers, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that microchip implant. And what I found interesting is when we go to the Strongs for the word small, it reads, it's a Micros, Strong's G3398, small, little, of size, hints of stature, of length, of space, of age, less by birth younger, so a youth, a child. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that's how Esau wants it. He wants this system on complete lockdown, to where you won't be able to make a move without him knowing it. And not just do they not want you to be able to buy or sell, but they want to use this chip to be able to control you like a remote controlled toy. That's the ultimate goal of this chip, is to have an obedient workforce that'll never buck up to the system. And with this chip being in you and being able to monitor your thoughts and brain waves, as we just read from that helmet those Chinese are making workers wear, if you start to get revolutionary thoughts, they can just turn your chip off and it's lights out. 13 and 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So as you can see, we're just getting closer and closer to that mandatory implementation of the chip. It's that technology's all around the world, and people are getting acclimated to it with each passing day, with this technology being shown to be a benefit to humanity. And again, this is all Esau's plan, because he wants to be as the Most High.